Alright, let's do this one more time. Welcome to Sync Floyd, the podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. I'm your friendly neighbourhood Gareth Blackler, and joining me is your friendly neighbourhood James Barron.
Hi, it's James-Barron here, coming in hot and ready for a podcast about Spider-Man, everyone's favourite superhero. I think. He's probably like one of the most popular ones, right? Up there with Batman and Superman, who's sort of fallen off the radar, but Batman
people
definitely.
don't like Superman, eh?
Maybe Iron Man's up there now?
Yeah, Iron Man's got to be up there.
Just through cinematic fame, but
Yeah,
definitely not from the comics. But he's one of the greats.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
And it's not just this one Spider-Man. I know you like Spider-Man. They've talked about him before in that weird 70s movie. So we're doing you one better, and we're adding 5 more Spider people with Spider-Man into the Spider-verse.
It is kind of great that both of the Spider-Man movies that we've watched have featured multiple Spider-Men. That is...
Oh, yeah.
That is kind of great, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a film that I had not seen until Monday of this week. Great one.
Why had you not seen it?
I know.
This movie is so you.
I know! Coming off of seeing it now, I feel like a bloody fool. I've made a bloody mess of myself, Gareth. Goodness gracious, why didn't I see this in the cinema when I could?
What were you doing at the start of 2019 when it came out? What was keeping you so busy?
I have no idea. I think I just started a new job, potentially.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh man, it wasn't good. I had no good reasons not to go and see this film when it was immediately released. Wow.
I went alone during the day on the sunniest day of the year. I was so amped for this movie.
Wow. Hell yeah. I mean, I'd seen the trailers. I think my problem with it, I was incredibly burnt out on Marvel at this stage.
Yeah.
I'd seen basically I was one of those people, everybody went out there and saw all the Marvel movies going along, all the Avengers and stuff. And by the time, when did this come out? After the second Avengers movie-ish?
This was in between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
Okay, so that's why. I finished, I watched Infinity War and I was like, I think I'm done with Marvel. I watched that movie and I walked out of it completely exhausted. I was like, I didn't enjoy it. There's a hot take about the old Thanos and Infinity War.
I would agree with you. That movie is actually, I do not really enjoy it. I find Endgame to be amazing. I think Endgame completely wins you back. You get a chance to see that.
I've never seen Endgame. It's the thing. It's it burned me so bad to the point where I was just like, I'm kind of done. And so I never watched it. It was like a new Spider-Man's coming out. It's animated. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. But I'm sort of done with superhero movies. And boy, what a fool I was. Because this is the best one. It's the best superhero movie ever, I would say.
Whoa.
That's quite the claim, but goddamn, I love this one.
Yeah.
Gareth?
Well, it's so interesting because this movie could exist without the characters being spider people.
I guess that's true.
You could have just made a multiverse action movie. But I think the idea that it's almost makes it intentional that they've rebooted Spider-Man 3 times.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because now you're kind of used to that story and you can see it twisted and played with.
The way they play with the tropes of Spider-Man and all the the rehashing of the origin story and all the memes that they reference with Spider-Man is kind of crazy. It's so in touch with what Spider-Man is and everything around it that it perfectly encapsulates the movie without hamming it up like all the other Spider-Man movies have. They take themselves way too seriously, and this one doesn't at all, and it's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that this movie is a comedy either. It just sort of has jokes in it and plays with the stuff that everybody knows about Spider-Man, Oh, man.
Yeah, and it's also it can be super serious and it earns its seriousness. It earns its even when it does kind of dip into familiar Spider-Man storytelling, it's earned it because it's willing to play with it and willing to put in the work, I think.
Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah.
I was just so impressed with this movie top to bottom. If you are a fool like me and you haven't seen this movie before now, and you are listening to this podcast, which is going to ruin the whole thing, holy crap, watch Into the Spider-Verse. It's really good. 10 out of 10. James Barron stars.
We'll wait for you to watch it.
I know.
I could put a 2-hour pause in this episode.
I don't know what that'll do to our metrics on Spotify. How would people even know to come back? It's like a timestamp in the description. This sounds like a bad idea. I don't think we should do it. I
might do it for either that YouTube version or a separate YouTube version.
Okay. Then leave it reserved silence for you to watch Spider-Verse. Oh my gosh.
G'day listeners, this is Gareth. We weren't kidding, and here's 2 hours of just lovely silence that you can just chuck on a bit of Spider-Man during. Have a little watch. And we'll see you back here for what is a ridiculously long episode gushing about this lovely movie. Good movie, eh? Oh, love this part. Yeah. Bloody Spider-Man, eh? Oh. James doesn't know I'm recording these parts of the show. What a flick. Well, back to the podcast.
But yeah, we still did watch this film with Pink Floyd. I watched it properly and then watched it with Pink Floyd because I hadn't seen it before, as is our law, per the Blood Oath. And yeah, do you want to get in and just dive? I just really want to talk about this movie because I loved it.
Oh, all right.
All right,
let's do this one more time.
One more time. Yeah, jumping in, as we do, speak to me, opening titles, you know the drill. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
There's a really fun glitch effect over all the little features of the film, all the little intro-y, like, studios and all that stuff. I'm already into the art style in this movie from, like, the go. Fucking Breathe launches in as we get, like, opening credits stuff. And then, yeah, we get the Spider-Man origin story that we all know and love. Like, it's really quick. I would say over the course of, like, a minute and a half or possibly 2 minutes. The whole...
Well, it takes place the entire instrumental build-up of Breathe.
Yeah.
It starts as soon as the guitars do and then ends as soon as the vocals start.
Yeah, as soon as the vocals start, it ends. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's also... Yeah, I'm just really appreciate that the film does this. It's like... Yeah, it covers off all the Spider-Man mythos that you need right at the top of the film.
Yeah.
Really easily. And it's done with like a fun like comic booky effect as well over the top.
Yeah, and you get like some references to the other movies.
Yeah.
You kind of... you also get like great jokes about his Christmas album and his popsicle.
Yeah, he like does the wee dance from Spider-Man 3 that is much maligned, but like they pay homage to it. It's like, yeah, I did this.
Yeah.
This may be embarrassing, but it's part of who I am. Really good. I'm already sold.
Yes.
And then, yeah, it's like he talks about being like the only Spider-Man. And then, we go to Miles, who's chilling out, our main character. He's jamming to some bloody quality Floyd in his headphones.
Yeah, he is bobbing pretty much in time to breathe.
Yeah, liking it.
Yeah.
And then, he's running off to school. He's starting a new school. It's not really clear why he's starting a new school. I think it's just to, like, throw the character out of depth, but, you know.
Yeah, he got, like, a scholarship lottery or something.
Yeah, I think this is also shown in the intro with the, like, there's lots of references to the number 42 throughout.
Yes.
And, there's like a short shot of like all these lotto balls all over the place, and one of them is a big 42 that's in center frame. I think this is representative of that lottery. I don't know. Yeah. Unclear. But hey.
But also, you know, payback to another part of the Sync Floyd universe with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So we've got to give it that.
Ultimate answer to the ultimate question.
Is Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Who is Spider-Man?
Who knew? It was this film. And they were bloody right. It's a really good film. Like, bloody Deep Thought was just watching this. Yeah. Like, they got that little tiny TV out to watch, and this was the first thing on it, and they were like, they just don't get it, man. This film rules. I just want to note at the start here as well that, like, I immediately off the bat noticed the frame rate of these characters. The animation style, this is an animated movie if you don't know, and, the animation style is incredibly framey for a lot of the characters, and the frame rate changes for different characters depending on the animation style, where they're from, what like dimension they're from, and so I just found that really interesting. First of all, like just from a technical standpoint to even do that, because it's super noticeable right at the start, but you just sort of like it sort of just blends in later on.
Yeah, you get used to it, eh?
Yeah.
So this film had the most animators Sony Pictures has ever hired for an animated film.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they spent a year working on just like 10 minutes as a proof of concept.
Wow, that's insane.
And then once they got that 10 minutes down, they just like nailed the rest of the film.
I mean, yeah, stylistically this movie bloody nails it. Like, it walks the line of doing the like CGI 3D thing and also hand-drawn cartoon style at the same time. And also, on top of that, everything is layered over with, like, a colour halftone comic book, like, circular, like, pattern, you know? So it looks like it's ripped straight from a comic book, but, like, brought to life in cinema. It's genius. It looks amazing.
And there's a bit of a, like, RGB glitch quite a lot, even in the non-glitchy scenes, which is another element, which all of this shouldn't work together. But I guess you give 100 animators a year, they're going to figure that out.
On paper, this sounds like a nightmare on the level of, like, Speed Racer, where, like, you would expect this to be, like, way too much visual information on screen at the same time. You would expect to be, like, your eyes to be blitzed after watching this movie. But it fucking works. It's really good. You're never overwhelmed by it, and it just, like, it doesn't, like, hit you over the head with 1,000 changing images. It uses it sparingly, like the glitchy effect as well. So, it's good, guys.
Yeah.
I like this movie, if you haven't cottoned on yet.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, Miles is off to school. He's, like, sticking stickers around town, as you do, getting your name out there like a cool kid. But he gets picked up by his dad, who's a cop. Great stuff. The dad is voiced by the guy who plays Alfred in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Great stuff. I looked up the cast of this afterwards, and I was like, nice. I like this guy.
Yeah. I'm glad you got to have a watch with the actual voice actors.
Yeah. I felt like it was important for this movie,
Yeah.
In general, if I hadn't seen a movie before and we choose it, I'll watch it. If I dive into a movie without watching it first and just listen with Floyd, it's because I don't respect the movie, and it hasn't it hasn't led me wrong before. I feel like my hubris will get the better of me someday, and I'll watch a movie I'll watch a movie with Pink Floyd and sort of ruin it for myself. But
I'm wondering if that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, you go in only doing your Pink Floyd thing, and then that makes you enjoy the movie less. Like, maybe Entourage, the movie, is your favourite movie, and you just haven't given it the chance.
I mean, there is a chance that is true. It's a slim chance.
That voice I think we talked about it before, that voice acting and, like, music could just be what makes that movie.
Yeah, it could be really good. It's like, man, I just never appreciated how in the Entourage movie, how all the soundtrack and all the, like, actual lines that the characters say match up with their mouths when they speak. Like, being able to hear what they say really adds a new dimension of cinema.
I didn't realize it was a full opera.
Holy shit. Please bring me the Entourage opera. Yeah. I would be back on board. Like, leaning real hard into the tragedy of the Entourage. Like, if it becomes, like, full-on, like Sisyphean Greek tragedy level, but they're all just, like, douchebags trying to, get ladies. Fuck, that would work. That'd be really good.
Douchebag opera needs to exist.
Oh my god. Get on it, Lin-Manuel. You're probably the only one that can do it.
Yeah. Speaking of douchebag opera...
Okay.
Pink Floyd? No, I'm sorry. I take that back.
It's alright. They're fine. They're good boys.
When Miles starts, like, stickering and jumping around on the run starts.
Yeah.
And my note started with a holy cow, comma, on the run starts.
Yeah, there you go. Like, and also it kind of works over this, like, car ride with Dad sequence where Dad's talking about a coffee shop being called Foam Party, which is a terrible name for a coffee shop. In the Dad's defense, like, holy moly, what were they thinking? I feel like you'd possibly get shut down just for, like, context, but hey. Also, he notes that, like, he doesn't like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's coming over the, like, police scanner or whatever. And he's like, man, I don't like that vigilante Spider-Man. He's the worst. Oh, God. And Miles is like, Spider-Man's okay. And then, there's the chronically embarrassing new kid at school sequence here where the dad, like, gets him to say I love you in front of everyone by, like, talking through the police scanner. This is like, oh man, it threw me back to high school, this whole, like, saying I love you to your mum kind of feeling. It's just like, oh man, I want to be cool so bad.
Cool people feel no love.
Exactly. I don't want people to know that I love my parents. God damn it. But yeah, it felt very real, this whole interaction, which was cool. I also think it's kind of weird that Miles doesn't tie one of his shoes as a choice. Is this a fashion statement that I'm unaware of? Like,
I often, I just don't like being told my shoes are untied because, so maybe it's just a defensive thing.
Hey man, lace up. I'm not gonna, you gotta be safe. You fall on your face. It's a bad time.
I feel like I had a whole summer, last summer, of my shoes just constantly being untied, and I couldn't just stop my friends every single time to tie them back up. Like, my friends have places to be.
I would have appreciated it. I would have been like, that's fine. You gotta be on top of your shoes, buddy. Before your shoes get on top of you.
Whoa.
I'm ready to be a dad.
I hear you're going around high schools giving that speech now.
Yeah, I bring my own backwards chair to sit on. It's a good one. Anyway, the crash sound in On the Run goes as we get the montage of school stuff starting.
Yes.
So immediately after that, there's like footsteps and stuff in the soundtrack, in Pink Floyd. And like it's Miles running all over the place, running between classes, carrying books and stuff. So that works for me, getting these like footsteps over just this little montage. Pretty nice.
However, there's lots of clocks. There's lots of people saying late and talking about time. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting so excited to hear some Pink Floyd clocks in sync, and they do not sync.
They do not. They come in when the like teacher restarts her little slideshow thing, which there's not a sync, guys. Sorry.
Sorry.
But I feel embarrassed. I love you, Mum. Yeah, there's also a sick little like preview cameo thing from Dr. Octavius on screen here. She's just like a chill scientist at Alchemax. I thought nothing of this, but like on rewatch, it's like, oh shit, that's cool.
It's good, eh? And that documentary, I swear, is based on the documentary we had to watch in my English class about like quantum physics called like What the Bleep Do We Know?
Oh wow!
Did you ever have to watch this?
No, I don't think so. Why was this in English class?
I don't know if we're talking about this on mic. I had a very interesting English teacher who liked to just fit in anything she wanted to watch and tell you it was based on Hamlet.
Amazing.
One week we watched like the last 20 minutes of the previous night's Dexter, and I'm pretty sure it's just because she missed the last 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's like massively phoning it in. Damn.
It was so good. I loved it.
Does this teacher still work at our high school?
Let's not dox her, but I actually have no idea.
Sweet. Okay. Anyway, let's immediately cut away from that, in case we accidentally dox one of our great teachers. We're getting the intro to time now over like the loudspeaker, but in the background, in the subtitles, I know that Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls himself, is busting at Hypnotize, and I am sad. I love Hypnotize.
Yeah.
It's like one of my top songs of all time. It's a great one.
That's good to know.
And Uncle Aaron's putting this on as we're going to go visit him, which is Miles' uncle, brother of his dad, who is like sort of the flip of his dad. His dad, like as a cop, is very straight laced, and Uncle Aaron's like much looser. Has gotten in with some bad crowds, and he's like, but he's chill, you know. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He totally would listen to Pink Floyd looking at his apartment.
Probably.
It's very, very fancy. Big speakers.
Yeah.
Big TV.
When he's not listening to Biggie Smalls, he is. Yeah.
Yes. I'm surprised no one on the internet, from my quick Google, has done a Dark Side of the Moon Biggie Smalls mashup. Like, you know how the internet loves mashing up Biggie Smalls with things?
There must be one. That's crazy that there's not.
Yeah, there's Dark Side of the Woo. Okay. We should probably sync that at one point.
Absolutely. The Wu-Tang. Yeah. Like, which Wu-Tang song is it? Do you know?
DJ Pizdramentals did it.
All right. Terrible DJ name, but I love it.
The songs are Intro, Release Your Delf. Oh, so these must be the actual Wu-Tang songs.
Oh, it's like the whole album?
Yeah, it goes for 23 minutes.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Yeah. So all right. We'll tweet that or something.
Sweet. Okay. I mean,
and sync it at some point.
That's our brand.
Yeah.
Anyway, Uncle Aaron tells him about a shoulder touch technique for getting girls, which is hilarious in of itself. But yeah, he's just trying to like guide Miles to be this mentor for him in a weird way that his dad isn't. His dad is sort of trying to get to know Miles, but Miles is like pushing back on that because he's a teenager and his dad's a cop. Yeah. So, you know, kind of hard to gel with your dad when he's a cop and you're a teenager. That's like, it's like it's like Mars and Venus levels of difference, you know. If you understand what I'm trying to say there. Probably not. It makes no sense.
I think you've complicated that metaphor quite a bit.
Yeah, they're bloody different, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy's chill. He listens to Biggie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go and put up a tag that Miles has designed, which is pretty cool.
It's very good.
Essay that he's supposed to write is called Great Expectations, and the tag that he puts up is called No Expectations. And it's like him silhouetted in front of that. It looks really cool. In the background, we got this little sneaky spider glitching out and like descending into frame. He climbs up all over Miles, just wandering around, and then he bites him on his hand when he wants to take a wee pick.
Surely nothing's going to come of that, though.
Nah, it's fine. The spider also has the number 42 emblazoned on its back.
And it often glitches around, which makes you wonder, this is probably the most obvious fan theory in the world, but that spider must have come from a different dimension.
Highly likely, yes.
Yeah, having not bitten its dimension, Spider-Man.
Curiously, there is an existing Spider-Man, but
Yes.
I think that's the case. It's warped in from a different dimension. But yeah, it's a chill little spider. Doesn't go well for the spider, though. It dies.
No.
Gets smacked very easily by Miles, and it is ripperoo for the old spider.
Yeah. Interesting, like you said, it's got to be tied to it, because, you know the book Save the Cat? The, script writing book?
No, I've never heard of this.
It's it's your most basic, structure thing, and your character has to save the cat at the beginning to show that you like them.
Oh, okay.
But there's a lot of weird asides on why the guy thinks certain movies doesn't work. And his big example is in Spider-Man, the first one with Tobey Maguire and J.K. Simmons, and etc.
Wow.
Kirsten Dunst, friend of the show.
There we go, friend of the show, Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah. So it's he says, no way was the audience going to believe that on the same week Tobey Maguire gets bitten by a spider, Willem Dafoe also becomes Green Goblin.
Yeah.
He's that's too many weird things. And then this movie must be aware of that, because it's hey, you think that's weird? We're going to have the same week he gets bitten, an interdimensional portal opens up.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's sort of all tied together, right? And that the interdimensional portal is responsible for him getting bitten, right?
Yeah.
And that the spider comes from that. And then also, I think it's aware of it in the case that all the different spider people that come from different dimensions are all coming from different points in time in their own stories, right? They aren't the Spider-Man that first appears through the portal is at a completely different age from the Spider-Man that we have in this dimension. So it's an interesting point on that. But yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that book says, though, is that Legally Blonde has the perfect title, so we have to take it with a grain of salt.
I mean, it's Legally Blonde is a good title, but it is overly complicated, much like my Venus-Mars metaphor, is what I would say.
So, it is perfect then.
Yeah, because it's a riff on Legally Blind, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't really land.
No. If you want to hear me when I found out that it's a riff on Legally Blind, you can listen to the Cult Pop Show episode I'm on.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Okay. What do we do?
I think I also brag about having read Save the Cat on that one.
Do you?
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey man, you gotta fill
hire
time.
me to be a scriptwriter, gang. I've read the book.
Yeah, you talked about 7 Earbud movies on that podcast, so I can't really blame you for wanting to talk about basically anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. Look that one up, guys. Yeah, there's so he gets all imbued with spider magics now. He gets all his own powers and stuff, and then does the classic. I've missed some point here, I'm pretty sure.
That's right. He goes home and he's sleeping, and Pink Floyd sing Home, Home Again.
Yes.
Yeah, but then he gets to school and he's starting to stick to things.
Yeah, I do also want to point out that his internal monologue and thoughts are now appearing on screen as little comic text boxes, which is bloody brilliant. This is another feature in this movie that's so smart, and I don't know why other comic book movies haven't done this.
Yeah.
To the point where this is the execution is at the same level, like probably the same level as Scott Pilgrim in terms of like translation from comic to screen. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It's the best translation since that, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a really weird interaction with Gwen, who calls herself Gwanda, which is not a name. And yeah, we transition into Great Gig as he executes the shoulder touch.
Yeah.
Goes very badly. I've written, it doesn't go great because of his sticky powers, which is not a good sentence.
No,
it latches onto, his hand latches onto Gwen's hair, and like they have to be like removed by the school nurse.
Yeah.
But it does mean that Gwen has a cool fade for the rest of the movie.
Oh, it's such a cool fade.
Yeah. She's not thrilled with it, but I mean, I guess you're like used to your own hair, but it looks good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. There's a really close-up shot of Miles' eyes after the sequence where he's like darting back and forth, everyone talking about him. And this works really well over the Great Gig vocal solo is what I've put here.
Yeah.
Just the like screaming away and he's like darting back and forth. Looks good. I'm into it.
Man.
Yeah, he like runs off. The security guard is after him for some reason. I'm not entirely clear on why, but he like chases him into his own office.
Yeah.
Where he starts playing the old Spider-Man Christmas album, like doubling down on that joke. Love that. There's a weird sequence where he like runs on the walls with birds attached to his head.
So many birds.
This like, so the showrunners of this were the people that, or the like script writers that were the people that made Clone High.
Yes.
A very formative comedy from Gareth and my youth. Him hitting the window here and like zooming out of frame and the like teachers like looking back and forth between this just screams Clone High to me. Like, it's so their kind of humor, which I love. Yeah, I just wanted to...
Did you later notice the Clone High billboard?
Yes, I did. That had been... That's like the one thing I knew about this movie going in, actually, was that Clone High is a feature film in this universe.
Okay.
Yeah. Importantly, there's like... in this dimension or whatever, it's like clearly a different dimension to our own. It's important to note. Like... they make a lot of effort to do that. There's lots of references to things in our own dimension that are slightly different. Like there's Red X as opposed to FedEx. Clone High has a movie. There's like reference to what's his name? John Mulaney's show in there, but it's called something different. Yes,
I only called that this time.
Yeah.
Oh Hello, and it's called Hi Hello.
Yeah.
Which made me very happy.
Just lots of like mini little things, especially on the billboards. Coca-Cola has a different name, but of course it does because movies. But like...
Yeah. There's little things like The Weeknd's album Kissland is out, but it's got the cover art for The Weeknd's album Starboy.
Oh, weird.
And yeah, Chance the Rapper, there's a poster of Chance the Rapper's third album, but he's got a 4 on his head as if to say he released a different album in this dimension.
A little extra album in the middle.
What do you think is different about Pink Floyd in this dimension?
I think that the keyboardist and the drummer are swapped positions, Gareth.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Anyway, he like gets back to his own room, and I do love that the Spider-Man comic that like lands on his face is perfectly mirroring the things that he's been saying out loud. So he like puts it together that he is a Spider-Man. Yeah. You know? Just doing his thing. And he's like trying to figure out who to call. Calls Uncle Aaron, who's out. Calls his dad, but he hangs up because he can't relate to his dad, who's a cop. And it's all sad. At the end of Great Gig, you know?
Yeah.
Great Gig closes out with him being like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. He returns to the scene of the bite with the little spidery glitchy boy.
Yeah.
Who's chilling. It's like, this is a normal spider, and it's like... I also want to point out that the effect they use for spider sense throughout the movie here is really, really nice. The whole like screen like explodes out with like a sharp color contrast over everything from the character, which is just so slick. It looks really good.
Yeah. They do a simpler version, I guess, when you get a smaller Spidey sense as well, where it's just like wavy lines around the characters' heads, which will later look really cool when there's all the characters feeling it.
Yeah, the little tinglies, for the little buzz that you get. It's good. Anyway, there's a big old battle happening in the background of this scene between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, who is inexplicably huge in this movie. Why is he so big? He's like a dude.
I don't know. I think in some comics they reinvented him to be like mutated in a monster.
Okay.
But it's really cool because Peter Parker is calling him Norman, so he knows his like human name.
It is, yeah. All the like people have the superhero, supervillain names, but they also just call each other by their first names, which is great.
Like old co-workers.
Yeah, they're all in an office together. But yeah, I was just sort of shook with how big he is.
Yeah, I was all for it, because we've seen Green Goblin already twice in different movie universes now. And both times he's been like a weird old dude and then his bratty teenage son. So it was great seeing like, oh no, this goblin is green.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed he didn't have a little fun hover bike thing that he usually has. That's the only change. But he does have sweet like big wings to fly around. So that works. Yes. What else happened? Oh, yes. Another comic-y thing that this movie does is like when people get hit, there's like a big pow and things like that actually show up on screen for a few frames, which is another really great thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them are like great freeze frames that you could pull out of the movie as well, just for like wallpaper purposes or whatever. But yeah, I love that little detail. It's like shout outs to like old Adam West Batman and stuff like that, which is kind of sweet.
I was a bit annoyed none of them seemed to sync up with any big Pink Floyd hits, but I can allow it.
That's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
The battle continues. Miles gets like pulled into this whole fight sequence through circumstance, and then they go into this big like collider reactor thing.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man like saves Miles from falling to his death as the Green Goblin like plummets, and I don't think is seen in the movie again. Maybe
I don't think he does well.
No,
but does he fall into the collider?
Yeah, he like fall. No, he doesn't fall into the like beam or whatever. He falls into like a little ravine kind of thing. Like he breaks the whole thing, and then they have to rebuild it. So presumably they just like cover him over. But yeah. A lot of people.
I was hoping he'd like have fallen into there, and we'd get some sort of like multiple Green Goblins in the sequel.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Green Goblin into the Goblin verse.
Yes.
That's my movie.
Oh, you love goblins.
I do love goblins, almost as much as I love skeletons.
Okay, every time we meet a new spider person, we're going to have to ask, what is the Pink Floyd of their universe, and what is the Green Goblin in their Goblin verse?
Perfect. Okay, I'm looking forward to that segment. Yes, they find out that they both have powers. They like have a wee chat. There's a very short interaction between OG Spider-Man and Miles, which is very endearing to each other. They're like, oh man, I can show you some tips and stuff. It's like proving that Spider-Man is a good guy here.
Yeah, for sure.
In case you didn't know, he's a chill ass dude. And he says, I've got to go destroy this big old machine before the space-time continuum collapses. Great stuff. More battling. Prowler appears for the first time. I didn't know if this was like a OG. This wasn't a villain I had seen before. It must be unique to the Miles Morales universe, I would say.
Yeah, as far as I know, I think like it's one of those ones where there's been different Prowlers.
Yeah, like different takes on him, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, great look. I love his like villain design. The big old cape, his mask is like scary. In the film when he appears and when he like uses his claws and stuff, there's this like horrific like dubstep bass hit every time he does things. And it's super spooky, but we don't hear that. We're hearing some Sweet Floyd. I think we're hearing Money over the sequence.
Yeah, it's another fight scene to Money, which
you know,
guys, you got to stop scheduling your fight scenes during Money. It's not quite as good
30
as
minutes
you want
in,
it.
It's not good. Get out of here.
Yeah.
We got Kingpin showing up as well. I love his design also, and that he like takes up most of the frame whenever he's on screen. A lot of the time they frame it so it's just his face floating in black because he's so huge, and other times he'll like take up the entire like left side of the screen and just see his head and the rest is like black around him. It's great. His design is another one of my favorites. Like he's not even that crazy of a villain. He's just like a dude who's really big.
Yeah. I don't think he's big in any other Spider-Man. I think they just like, they had this chance because it was a cartoon to be like, yeah, he's big. This ain't your dad's Spider-Man.
I think he was big in the Spider-Man game that came out at a similar time around this. Possibly after, possibly before. I have no idea. But didn't play that either. I was burnt out on Marvel.
Wow, you were burnt out because that was another thing
I know,
that was huge,
another one that was really good apparently. But nope.
Wow.
You cut me deep, Marvel. But you've won me back kind of with this one, so maybe I'll give it a go.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. But I just love the design of him. He's really good. So they use a really good alternate reality glitch kind of effect throughout the movie here. Like it sort of rips it when they turn the collider on. All the like buildings and stuff sort of fracture and fractal out into lots of different colors. There's a really good bit where the lamp post like gets 1,000 different lamp posts of different types all joined together and exploding outwards, and this is later described as a Banksy by a random passerby, which is a good bit. It's cool. I love all kinds of alternate reality stuff. Looks good. It's executed really well in this film. So
so the collider, they fight on it. I feel like a kid describing a movie. That's how excited this movie makes me feel. Yeah. But Spider-Man essentially he defeats the Green Goblin, but he gets like way too injured.
He gets beaten down by the rest of them.
And while this is happening, he gets shoved into the collider, which explodes it. Yeah. And that's important because I didn't click until this rewatch. That's what's bringing all the Spider-Men to the universe.
Yeah, it's sort of the idea is Kingpin's whole plan, right? We might as well cover it here, in that he's trying to like bring back his family, and the people at the computers are like locating different versions of his family in different dimensions at the center, and like trying to bring them to the center of this beam thing. So when he puts his face to it, I guess it's like imprinted with the Spider-Man code, quote unquote, and like digs out all the Spider-Men from different dimensions and brings them all in, you know. It's like, here they all are, and they sort of just get spit out when the explosion happens now. Because, Green Goblin, like, sort of breaks the whole thing and explodes the collider. Yeah. Presumably dying, we don't know. But there's a brief scene where Miles gets given, like, a little dongle, USB dongle.
Always the most important thing in a movie, the USB stick.
The freaking microfiche that is required. It's like whatever it is. It's even like called a dumb word. I can't remember what it is.
A goober.
Yeah, a goober. Like it doesn't matter what this thing is. It's needed to win. They make reference to that in the film, which is kind of great.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, he like promises Spider-Man that he'll put it in and stop them turning the reactor on again. So yeah, big stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone will die if he fails, is what Spider-Man says, which is like, geez, dude. All right. And then,
I guess you don't mince words when it comes to that, I guess.
Guess not, yeah. Kingpin comes over and bloody slays Spider-Man, kills him. Yeah. Crushes him with his big Kingpin hand.
Yeah.
It's brutal, honestly. This hit is, like, really fast, and you're just like, oh, god damn. They sort of linger on it for a little while after this as well to really let it sink in.
By this point, us and them has started as well, so we're getting that somber.
Yeah, we're getting that somber vibe. And then the Kingpin notices that someone else is there and sends Prowler after them, who's in hot pursuit of Miles. Chases him down on like a motorbike. There's a fun sequence with a subway train and all that. Manages to get away. Manages to evade Prowler. Again, scary. Yeah. He's got the scary claws. He's got, like, hover boots.
He's got a lot going on, Prowler.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm glad he's good at branding. Otherwise, like, you wouldn't know what to call him.
It's true. He's
hover boots, claws, cape?
He's a pretty complicated dude. But
yeah.
He's got God style, for sure. But yeah, Miles goes back to his family home and stays with them, and they're like, alright, I guess you can, but you're supposed to be at school, you little rapscallion. And then, the news has come out. The news come out, Gareth. Spider-Man is dead? Question mark? Yes.
Yeah.
He did. It's very sad. It sweeps the nation. We get to see all these...
It's so interesting the way it's, like, presented. It's, like, very realistic and grounded. That's like... He's dead, and we've discovered that he was this 26-year-old. 26, which scared me.
Young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Often a lot.
Named Peter Parker, who's just a photojournalist. And yeah.
Yeah. He's like a very somber, like, sequence where, like, all the people are finding out on their phones and looking around.
Yeah.
People are buying merch to go to his funeral and dress up as wee Spider-Man, and this is where we get our obligatory Stan Lee cameo. I think the last one, right? Because
I think they extended it, like gave him a couple more shots or something, because it's happened after he passed away.
Yeah, like shortly after. Well, like I think he obviously contributed to this, and then like his voice, and then before the release of the film he died. So
yes, yeah.
But yeah, he plays like this little store owner guy. Really good.
Yeah, and even that they managed to have their cake and eat it too, because they let him say this like powerful speech about how the Spider-Man costume always fits everyone.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's doing that because he doesn't give refunds.
Yeah, very good. It's really cleverly done, yeah. It's like prophetic, but also like a bit of a joke in there.
Yeah.
Nice. As all good Stan Lee cameos should be.
Yes, right? The ones in the X-Men movies are like, like the later X-Men movies are just so boring.
Yeah.
It's just Stan Lee looking at things.
It's like, wow, look at that superhero. Amazing.
Even that would be better than just like man wearing sunglasses that perfectly reflect a bomb going off.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well. We got a good one in this movie.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
So there's a wee memorial. Well, I say wee, it's huge. There's
it's
in
massive,
front of the old town hall. MJ gives a wee speech about like him just being a normal dude. It's all very, as you say, very grounded, very sad. Kind of wild to me. I didn't expect Spider-Man to die in this movie.
No, yeah. I think they had to keep it because that's Miles Morales' like comic book origin, as he takes over the Spider-Man mantle when Peter Parker dies.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I had no idea about any of that, so it was awesome.
Yeah, it's good, It keeps you, like... Because you kind of go... It's one of those little tricks, like, if a movie breaks that kind of rule, it keeps you on your toes, even if it then obeys every other movie rule. You're like, maybe
okay. It's doing something different, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... So anyway, he starts learning from the old comics about how to be a spider-man, and, like... sort of tries to recreate Peter Parker's like own origin story by doing the like building jump sequence.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go well. He like falls all the way down and breaks his bloody dongle, his USB, in his pocket, so he can't do the promise anymore. It's bleak.
Yeah.
Another 42 reference here. He like knocks off some signs and stuff so there's a 4 and a 2 next to him on the ground when he lands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just another one. I wonder what the significance of the 42 is in this movie, other than it being the spider that gets him. It must be, like, unique to this universe or something? I don't know. It's definitely a motif, but I'm not sure what it references. Maybe if I read comics, I would get it, but I don't know.
I'm looking it up, but this website wants me to turn off my ad blocker, so I don't know.
We'll never know, listeners.
Oh gosh, now it wants me to sign up.
Oh my god. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I'll just read
Again,
the comic.
weaker podcasts would turn off their ad blocker.
Yeah, hell no.
This is upsetting.
Hope you're listening to this podcast with ad blocker enabled.
Yeah, every time we talk about something we enjoy, it just beeps it out, so it's not advertising.
The refreshing taste of yes, he visits Spider-Man's gravestone, Gareth. To apologize to him for breaking his USB, his spider USB. Doesn't. It's very sad. And then he runs. Who should appear? But alternate universe Spider-Man is played by the guy with the most generic name ever, who I can never...
Jake Johnson.
That's the one, Jake Johnson. He is great.
Yeah.
He plays Nick in New Girl, is how I know him. Very distinctive voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy to see him. Here he is.
I was stoked he was in this, because like it's Chris Pine is playing this universe's original Spider-Man.
Yeah. Who does a fine job, I would say. But again, like, it's playing much more of a straight-laced character, and like, it's clear that Jake has fun with this character. Absolutely, he's like diving into like being this loser type.
Yeah,
it's a really fresh take on Spider-Man, honestly. We get the redux of the origin story. The joke is that like one more time, let's do this one last time, and it happens multiple times throughout the movie. But yeah, it's like the same story, but it's got a very sad bent to it, where like Mary Jane leaves him because their relationship falls apart, and he sort of like loses confidence in himself.
Yeah, and he invested in a Spider-Man themed restaurant.
Yeah, never do that, he says.
No.
Which is strange, because like Spider-Man in this reality made a Christmas album, and that was fine, so...
Well, yeah, I suppose music and food are pretty different things.
There you go.
You heard that from me first.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Put that on.
So in this guy's universe, in Peter B. Parker's universe, I'm reckoning he's got the same Pink Floyd as us.
Wow. You think he's from
I reckon he's from our universe.
He's from real world universe? Holy crap.
That's why his story's so sad.
I mean, fair. Like, if you're thinking about actual reality, it's pretty sad, I guess. But damn, dude, that's a harsh read on real life.
Or do you reckon, like, his Pink Floyd is like an acoustic duo?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a big... Okay. They had the movie Tommy in that reality as well.
Yeah.
They put out the Dark Side of the Moon, but it's just like a circle on the front, and that represents a pinball. And inexplicably, Pinball Wizard is in the middle of this album.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It like leaves on money and then segues into Pinball Wizard and then segues back into money.
Oh wow! It's like a short solo within money.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Okay, and what's the goblin in this universe?
Okay, the Green Goblin of this universe, I think he died. He did well. He defeated Spider-Man several times, but then like in a freak accident outside of battling Spider-Man, like just died. It was very tragic. And like Spider-Man's cut up about it.
You thought my thing was dark? Yeah,
there you go.
That is actually real dark. That would be so... I feel like that happens in the Watchmen comics. Like a villain just dies off camera and like is a human and they just get sad.
Yeah, that happens a lot in Watchmen. I'm saying that Watchmen would be like real life, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a way harsher read on actual real life. Because holy crap, those comics are sad.
Is this a sad off all of a sudden?
Yeah.
We need to get back to it.
Fight me until I cry, Gareth.
My tears are saltier.
Alright, let's get back to having fun. There's another slick little mini difference is that the NYPD is called the PDNY in this universe as well, which is I only call on this Pink Floyd watch, which I like, because they're here to arrest old mate Miles at the gravestone. I don't really know why, just for like hanging out with a homeless guy, I guess, is what they think is going on. It's weird. Anyway. Or like, they think he potentially assaulted him, right? Because he's knocked out.
Yeah.
We get brain damage playing over a fairly slapstick escape sequence where Miles is using Peter's web shooters to like latch onto the subway and things like that. It's very silly. Lots of fun stuff with like a snowman covering his face and things like that. It's good.
Yeah.
Hard to describe in an audio form though.
Yes, yeah.
And then we get a clips into the album, playthrough 1, as Peter like wakes up tied to a punching bag. I guess this is at Uncle Aaron, Uncle Aaron's house. Thank you. Miles is like interrogating him about what's going on, and he escapes by like doing this thing where it's like you should never watch the mouth, watch the hands. That's what he says, and I like that this comes back as well. But yeah, unfortunately, he can't escape properly because of his like glitching out effect from being from a different dimension. That is. Another fun like playing with the frame kind of sequence where like he's walking on the wall and we're getting like a perspective shift of that, and Miles like desperately trying to like come down and talk to him without doing that is really good. And yeah, it's like convincing him to actually help at the start of playthrough 2 here.
Yeah.
They have to re-steal the little dongle from Alchemax as the new plan. Yeah. So there we go. We've got a new mission at the start of playthrough 2.
Yeah, they get on the bus.
Yeah, which is smart.
And someone says we don't have a second to lose at some point around the scene.
Yep.
And I wrote that down because it's second play.
Yeah.
And... you know, sometimes when you're on 32 episodes, you think that counts as a second.
Sweet. Yeah, well, allow it. They grab a wee burger, overbreathe. It's good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, catching the bus, he says that this will be like, save your energy. I don't want to swing all the way there, is what he says.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's very frugal. I feel like actual Spider-Man would do this too. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Non-other universe Spider-Man. It's great to note that this Spider-Man, in his spider costume, because his like legs part of his costume broke off when he was flying through the dimensional rip or whatever, he wears sweatpants for the remainder of the movie, which is a great little take, actually. Yeah. I think it's...
yeah, this movie knows that a Spider-Man mask is pretty funny.
Oh, totally.
Like, yeah, like you said, it's seen the memes, so therefore... yeah, Spider-Man in sweatpants is great.
Yeah, it really leans into the whole comedy aspect throughout, which is really good, yeah. Like, even through this, like, plan sequence when they're going to Alchemax, they're like, we get really silly, like, a cut to a comic book sequence of them planning this infiltration out. And it's very comedic, like, posing and stuff like that. He says he'll steal a bagel and things. It's pretty good. Yeah, what else do I have to say? Oh yeah, he says also another difference between quote unquote our reality or other reality that we're used to is that the Octavius in this reality is female, which is interesting.
Yes, yeah, Liv.
Yeah, which is
to her friends.
Another great take. I didn't see this one coming either, which is
neither.
Awesome.
This got me so pumped alone in the cinema.
Yeah.
She has these awesome... her spider arms are like full of some sort of goo or liquid that powers them. Like some James Cameron nonsense.
Oh yeah, he's got the James water flowing through those arms for sure.
Yeah.
It's, like super gross. Her arms in this are really cool looking, and that she can like turn them into like kind of circular saws and things like that. She uses them to great effect. It looks really good. Also... in upcoming universe, we see that like OG regular robot arms Doc Ock exists in like the other dimension, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So different. It's canon that there are different villains in different dimensions. So
yeah,
sweet
which is
little
just
tip.
It's so nerdy to be that excited by that, but oh my gosh, that's exciting.
Yeah, anyway.
The first time I saw this, I had the biggest Wikipedia dive into all their universes in the comic books.
Hell yeah.
It was pretty sad, but it was so much fun.
I just dived deep into Kingpin and what his whole deal was. I just wanted to know about big boy. He shows up, actually, here at the start. It throws a spanner in the works of that perfectly executed comic book plan that we saw play out, but... so Miles has to go in and screw the plan up. He has to run in and like warn Spider-Man that Kingpin's in the building, basically. And then they're like listening in on Liv and Kingpin chatting and saying like how these are like fairly standard Spider-Man stakes, and like he's like sort of through with it, but it's actually not because the world's gonna end. Is what he says. He's like, oh, it's actually forget what I said.
Yeah.
Which is a good wee joke. What happens now?
The Spider-Man tries to seduce Liv.
Yes, he does.
That goes terribly. She's pumped that there's another Spider-Man.
Yeah, Miles is turned invisible. for this as well.
Yes, yeah, Miles can turn invisible. There's a lot going on in this movie, but again, it's handling it so well.
Yeah, so we've seen his like extra powers that he has beyond regular Spider-Man powers. He has the like the ability to cling to walls and stuff. He can turn invisible as like a fight or flight kind of mechanism, and also he has that electric shock thing that he used on Peter B. Parker when he first arrived. Neither of which he can control at will right now, but, you know. So yeah, he's trying to steal this, use the password and hack into this computer, quote unquote, while Peter's trying to seduce Liv here, which doesn't go well. He ends up trying to, like, steal the whole computer, which is really funny.
Yeah, including the monitor.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to just watch it, like, bouncing around.
Yeah, it's really good. They, like, do it in the shape of a person. So, like, the monitor represents the face, and, like, that bobbing around as if it were talking is really good.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they have to... it's revealed... The reveal of her being Octavius, Doc Ock, is here. It's just... blew me away. I was like, oh my god, didn't see that coming.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, there's, like, a cool escape sequence over time for us.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it turns out that Gwen is also in the building, and you're like, what? Okay. I guess she, like, moonlights here. But all will be revealed.
Yeah. I can't believe how, like, this is how much I love this movie. I forgot to mention there's clocks when we realize she's Doc Ock.
Yeah.
That's the Doc Ock clock.
The Doc Ock clocks.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
And them, like, spying around to On the Run was a pretty good thematic sync.
Oh, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. Doc clocks.
Doc Ock clock.
Doc Ock clock is very good. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they, like, have to escape. There's, like, swinging through autumnal trees, which is very pretty to look at. With, like, laser gun wielding scientists in hot pursuit, and also Doc Ock. And yeah, a new spider person appears on the scene, and it's Spider-Gwen, Gareth.
Yes.
We get her return origin story here about her whole deal, which is great. I just love this as a recurring motif. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work if it was long. Like, it has to be really, really short, and establishing it at the get-go was perfect. Like, just as an idea, like, having that at the start of a Spider-Man movie is good enough. But having it as, like, a joke throughout the movie is just so clever.
And in her universe, who are Pink Floyd?
Okay, her universe, I don't want to say they're all female, because that's, like, the easy gimme kind of version.
Yeah.
What would they be? Her, like, artistic style in the universe, everything's sort of, like, pink and blue sort of aesthetic.
Yeah.
And so I want to say that they are a synth pop band.
Ooh.
Exclusively.
Yeah, they formed like 10 years later.
Yeah,
they were
and
big in the 80s instead.
Yeah, they formed in Germany.
Yeah.
They're German synth pop in that universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lunatic is on the grass.
Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Perfect. And the Goblin?
This
is relying on you to know a lot about the Green Goblin.
I don't know too much about the Green Goblin other than, like, the existing, like, Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire stuff, really. Beyond that, I'm not that guy. I do love goblins, but I don't...
Yeah, maybe it's just, he's like a labyrinth-style goblin.
Dude, if I had my way, all Green Goblins would just be labyrinth-style goblins, alright? Like, that would be the dream. Instead of, like, being regular people with origin stories and stakes and stuff, it's just like, nah, the Green Goblin is a Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I'm afraid so.
All he wants is some gold.
And Spider-Man won't give him that gold.
Yeah. He, like, doesn't understand that, like, gold's, you know, it's valuable. It's not that valuable. He's just like, gimme.
It's valuable to me, the Green Goblin.
He saw that Spider-Man has one gold filling, and he's like, oh, I want it. And that's his whole drive.
He didn't even, it was in, like, a bad drawing of Spider-Man that he saw. And he's like,
yeah.
He's got some gold on him. That's all I need. Arch enemies. But yeah, this is kind of shoehorned in, but we get a little flashback of Kingpin's motivation with his family, who, like, he was beating up Spider-Man and his wife and kids saw and were like, oh no, you're a big scary man that we didn't know about before. It's like, alright guys. And then they like flee in their car and get into a car accident and die. I guess, like, if he wasn't beating up Spider-Man, Spider-Man could have saved them from this car accident, but, like, people die. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, he seems like the kind of guy who would blame someone else for this.
He totally projects on Spider-Man for this. He's like, I must punish Spider-Man by breaking his back with my big fist.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also employs this little guy called Tombstone, another guy who I'd never heard of before, who is apparently like a recurring Spider-Man villain. But he just sort of looks like Frankenstein and has guns, is his whole deal.
Yeah.
He's great.
Frankenstein of guns.
I want to know more about Tombstone. Where's Tombstone's, like, movie?
Yeah, you know Tombstone's going to have like 1 billion comic books.
Oh, totally.
We can't sync that with Pink Floyd unless we read at a certain speed.
Oh my god, that's too much work.
Yeah.
This podcast is enough work already without me taking on a Tombstone's load of extra work, you know?
But imagine if that was your thing, that you were the guy who knew everything about Tombstone.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't really want that to be my thing. I think that would be not work wonders for my brand, which is in tatters already.
Tombstone your brand, man.
Yeah, Tombstone your brand.
Tie your shoes and tombstone your brand.
From the top rope. Yeah. There's a little nice sequence where Spider-Gwen's talking about it being nice that she's not the only spider person around. There's like a cool camaraderie that this film builds where it's like you're never, even if you think you're alone, you're never alone. They're just like, there are people out there just like you going through the same kind of things that you are, you know? Especially at the like high school age is what this is targeted at as well. Super. It's very clever, like thematic tie-in there. But yeah, they go and visit Aunt May, who's like sick of reporters and is like a massive badass in this movie. But
yes, I loved Aunt May.
Yeah, she takes them down to like a little bat cave equivalent that Spider-Man has. Straight up, this is the bat cave, right? There's like a Jeep and a motorbike.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Spider-Man's.
I think there's a plane.
Yeah, I don't think Spider-Man's ever had like a secret base, right? I don't think that's...
Yeah, definitely not in the movies.
Nah. But fair enough. He's got a wee bat cave, whatever.
Yeah. It's great as well that he's only been Spider-Man for like 10 years. This other guy's been Spider-Man. Peter B. Parker's been Spider-Man for way longer and didn't get the cave.
Yeah, it is kind of cool actually. It's also like this isn't really dwelled on, but in Peter B. Parker's universe, Aunt May is dead. And so this is like the first time of him seeing her in like 10 years from his perspective, which is kind of wild. He's like, I don't think I'm ready for this. And everyone's like, well, the movie has to continue, so come on.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying he gets more time missing MJ than he does with Aunt May.
Oh my god, yeah. I really want... If I could cut one scene from this movie, it would be the MJ sequence. Straight
the
up.
one coming up where he looks at the photo, or the one
No,
with
the bread bit. I cut that whole bit.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa. I mean, it depends. Like, if you're going to put some sweet other thing in it, or if I'm allowed to use that minute for whatever I want, then I'll let you cut it.
You can use it for whatever you want, other than that.
Yes, I'll just waste it podcasting.
Excellent. It's like, I will use that minute so that I can align things better with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Yes, anyway, there's another little good joke there where Aunt May asks Miles what dimension he's from, and he just says Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Just it's a joke that like doesn't even land in the movie. There's like an awkward silence before they moved on. It's really good.
Yeah.
And then yes, there's 3 other Spider-Men that show up, quote unquote.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we've got Spider-Man. Are we gonna like hit these individually and talk about all their Pink Floyd equivalents, or do you want me to do all 3 at once?
Let's talk about the Spider-Person, how much we like them,
okay.
Which is probably going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Why that is, what their Pink Floyd is, what their Goblin is, and what we're doing in that universe.
Oh, wow, okay. This is getting longer by the second, so we've got Spider-Man Noir, as voiced by Nicolas Cage himself.
Yes, love him.
Great stuff. This is another thing I knew about beforehand, going into this movie, that Nick Cage offered a role in this. He's from like a 1930s Spider-Man universe where everything's noir. Everything's like
beautiful black and white, halftone.
Yeah, everything's black and white. He's in black and white for the whole movie, which is great.
Yeah.
There's lots of jokes about him not understanding color. He's like looking at looking at Rubik's cubes and like getting really confused. It's a really good bit. Love it. So okay, Pink Floyd in that universe, like they're a barbershop quartet. And they're like, it's just all a cappella versions of their tracks. Which makes like Great Gig really weird, because it's just screaming. On the Run is wild. But definitely seek that one out, if you can, through the universes, dimensions, whatever. What else? We got Goblin. I don't know. I feel like
I'm interested in what they actually did.
Like Mickey Mouse era Goblin, huh?
Oh, I'm interested in what they actually did for the noir comic books.
Yeah.
But I like you, all right. Oh, he's just a former circus freak with a reptile-like skin disorder. Oh yeah, who became a major crime lord. I like that.
No, I need to save cartoon Goblin for a future character. We've got so we can go with the existing one.
I reckon this one will be real into like shadow puppets though.
Oh, I like that take.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't like a circus freak, quote unquote. He was just doing the like shadow puppet theater.
Yeah.
Be a really cool motif actually in a comic to do that.
Actually. Yeah. Dang, another good one. Good idea.
Yeah. Take notes, Marvel. We're coming up with ideas for you.
And meanwhile, we're like two hard-hitting newspapermen who secretly try to print our newspaper strips over top of pictures, like fine art, to see if they sync up.
All right. I like that.
Yeah. Or no, novels. We shine a light through a page of a novel onto a painting.
Yeah.
See if it syncs up. And then we write an article about that.
Yeah, man, we're doing some like National Treasure ass shit, and no one gets it. Okay, continuing. We've got Penny Parker, who is an anime girl, Spider Girl, quote unquote. She's just a regular girl who has a robot with a spider inside, and the robot has the personality or soul of her dead father in it, I think, is what is introduced. It's anime to the max is the idea. Like Sailor Moon style magical girl, Powerpuff Girls equivalent here.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls not an anime, but similar kind of vibe is what I'm trying to say.
Interestingly, she was created by Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance.
What? Like the art or the design?
So in the original Spider-Verse comic, he wrote her arc. And created her.
Interesting. Yeah. Man.
Because he's also a very good comic book author.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a sweet fact. Okay, so everything in her universe have to be anime to the max.
So I'm trusting you on all of these, because you're the anime expert of the two.
Did the intro for Neon Genesis Evangelion in this universe.
Okay.
And they also somehow wrote Fly Me to the Moon, which is the outro. I don't know how that works chronologically, but they did. Yeah, so they're just like, and they're big in Japan, but they are also they're just still from the UK. They're exactly the same every other way.
Yeah.
So they're just like big in the anime scene.
Can one of them have like big Dragon Ball Z hair?
Yes, but it's fake.
Like a keyboardist? Okay, it's a toupee. He's balding underneath.
Yeah. What else have we got? Goblins.
The Goblin's a Digimon.
Yeah. The Goblin is a Digimon. I love that.
There's a Goblin Digimon who was awesome. I can't... Goblinmon?
Probably Goblinmon, surely. He's from the internet realm that is transferred into real life. And yes, what's her name? Penny has to fight him, even though he's like made of bytes and bits. What else have we got? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I feel like we are people that we're like recurring bit part characters that constantly get like obliterated by various explosions.
Yeah.
like we're always in the background, and it's just us two guys that always like are like, oh no, and just like yeah, we get wiped out every episode. There you go. She's also voiced by Kimiko Glenn, who is So-So in Orange is the New Black. Fun fact. I like
That's her character name, right? Not you reviewing her.
No, that's her character's name in that show.
Oh, Phil.
Yeah, she's good. I like her character.
Yeah. Cool.
Finally, we have Spider Ham, who is a spider who got bitten by a pig, a radioactive pig, and turned into Spider Ham, who is a Looney Tunes style variant of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Way over the top. Voiced by John Mulaney in the film.
Yes.
Who hams it up, haha, quote unquote, a lot.
It's so great. He offered to he was like told he could ad-lib and stuff around it, and he ended up doing like lines like, he's been Spider-Man for a week. I've been Spider-Ham for 10 fucking years. And then they're like, John, that's great, but this is a kid's film.
I feel like him saying like the talking animal line coming up is him ad-libbing, and that's a good one. So
yeah.
Yes. So he's from like obviously like Looney Tunes era world. Pink Floyd.
Yeah, it's interesting. So they've because I knew about Spider-Pig well before this movie for some reason. I think I'd heard it existed, and I was like, "That is so me." Spider-Ham, sorry, it's not Spider-Pig.
Spider-Pig's the Simpsons reference. So
yes, that mistake might keep happening. But yeah, he's like, so everyone's already got their amazing animal-based puns already there. Like the Green Goblin, I know, is the Green Gobble, and he's a turkey.
Nice, that works.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, like, anything I try to come up with is going to just be, like, the second draft of those ideas.
Yeah, it does kind of have to be, like, a pun-based animal thing. They could be, like, a group of flamingos. That would work.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I like that a lot.
That are just in a band and have Pink Floyd songs. It's all, like, weirdly serious, but they're just flamingos.
Yeah. Or to be the dark side of the... Dang, I thought I'd have it when I started it. The shark side of the moon.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
That's good. And it's just like light emitting from a shark's mouth.
Yeah. Hang on, I can do this.
All right.
We start, of course, with Speak to Flea.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Breed. It's not very good.
Oh, that's no good. I don't ever want to listen to a song called Breed.
On the Run. On. Oh, this is not enjoyable. This is like what's being in the worst writer's room.
For real. Just like anything that can work here.
Yeah. Honey, and it's all got B sounds in it.
That's good. That works. That could be like a Weird Al one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is just like weak Weird Al. I'm sorry, listeners.
So, finally, what was it? We are there.
Yes.
I don't know what we are. I feel like we're doing like a sort of... this isn't even close to what like actual animation is. But I want to say we're doing like a Statler and Waldorf like Muppet thing. We're like up in the peanut gallery, just like watching the events play out as little cartoon versions of ourselves.
And of course, you're James Bear and you're a bear.
Okay.
And I'm Gareth Barkler, and I'm a dog.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. Got there.
I'm glad to know my weakness now. My kryptonite is animal puns based on Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah. It's good to the podcast reveal things about ourselves, eh?
Yeah. Some people open up about their lives.
Yeah. That's overrated. Let's form a niche. Okay, so let's dive back into the plot.
Thanks for sticking with us through that segment, listeners.
Wow, yeah, that's the last time we do that, I promise.
Oh, wait, Turkish Spider-Man?
Oh, in the Turkish universe, I am that little guy that says, "Fly away, little birds." That's me.
So is Pink Floyd, and so am I,
Yeah,
and the
so
Goblin
is
is a
everyone.
puppet.
He embodies the entire world, that little man.
Yeah.
I want to know his story. So...
Yeah,
cut back.
So they all glitch out.
Yep.
They need to come up with a plan, and they decide Miles is going to plug in the goober and help them get back to the universe.
Yeah.
But they don't trust him because he's like, his powers are so weak and uncontrolled. So he kind of just storms off, and he goes to his uncle's for guidance, for help.
Yeah. But his uncle, of course, is away. We know this from all the phone messages that he's been calling him up several times. He's like, I'm away, I'm for work.
I'm out of town.
Yeah. But yeah, so he on the way there he gets like a bunch of voicemails from his dad, who thinks he's like drifting away from him because of the whole sending him away to a private school thing. It's very sad. He writes like a little letter to his Uncle Aaron while he's here, being like, I need your help. Help me out, friend. But who should turn up in this bloody house but Prowler, Gareth?
Oh, yeah.
Prowler walks in and like thinks that... Miles obviously thinks that it's Prowler's been like tailing him this whole time and has like finally found where he is. But no, Prowler is his Uncle Aaron.
Yeah.
I like put it together when he entered frame, but like, damn, this is a sweet twist.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. Like, it didn't like get me like out of my goodbye. I've lost everything. It didn't hit me immediately like the Octavius reveal did, but like this one I saw coming a little bit. But man, it's serious.
I think they kind of banked on you knowing that, because I think in the comics Prowler is his uncle as well.
Okay, sweet.
But yeah, either way, they then use the emotional side of it to make that hit.
Yeah, it chases him down again. There's another Prowler prowling chase sequence.
Yeah,
and it gets away again, evades old Prowler. Still doesn't know. Miles now knows that his identity, but not vice versa.
Yeah.
The new goober, I've written, my next note is my new goober is constructed by anime girl Spider-Man. Which is...
that sums it up.
That is a sentence that I wrote. Miles returns and like is like, oh, my uncle is... is the Prowler, and Noir Spider-Man's like, man, that's a badass origin story.
Yeah.
Again, like directly talking to camera. Just a little note about this. I think it's kind of fucked up that like later on they're all talking about like, for me it was this person who died. They could have warned him that everyone has tragic backstories if they're Spider-Man. Like,
yeah, I suppose that's not something that they would have thought to all put together, right?
I guess not, but
yeah,
it's like someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. It's like part of being Spider-Man. Apparently, you gotta have these narrative stakes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. There's a big old battle that plays out at Aunt May's house with like a bunch of things breaking.
Oh yeah, including Spider-Ham just breaking a plate on his own head.
Just for fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very rude.
He's a rude dude.
Rude dude with a turd. And we've got introduction of another villain here, Scorpion, whose all his dialogue is in Spanish, which is translated on screen in a little text box.
Yeah.
Really good.
So
like
good.
That. Yeah, there's another like really sweet action sequence with the Prowler and Scorpion and Doc Ock, of course, all here.
Yeah.
And Prowler, like, it results in Prowler, like, pinning Miles on the roof, like, extending him out over the edge, ready to kill him. And Kingpin's in the car nearby being like, finish it. And then Miles reveals who he is under the mask, and Prowler's like, oh, fuck. I can't kill my own nephew.
Which is fair.
And I'm glad that he doesn't. Yeah. Like, full-on villainous dude, clearly. Prowler, bad guy. Working for Kingpin. Probably done some murders. But yeah, doesn't kill his own nephew. Good. Yeah. But yeah, he like hesitates on killing him, and then Kingpin shoots him in the chest. Poor Prowler dies. Gets like taken to an alley by Miles and is like crying over him. It's a really, really sad sequence.
Yeah, and this is when we get some very dramatic parts of old Us and Them by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, man.
Including, he gets shot exactly when that voice goes like, not gonna kill ya.
Yeah.
Which is a lie.
That was a lie. That was Kingpin lying to camera. Get out of here, man. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I honestly think this hits way harder than the Uncle Ben death in regular Spider-Man. It's like way more serious, I think.
Yeah, and we get more of an idea of their relationship than we often do in Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I got you there.
Also, I guess like Uncle Ben's like a major father figure for Peter Parker, but like he's so much, I don't know, he's so much of an older dude. It's like, and they're like more like grandparents in the film, so it's like sad in the way a grandparent would die in a horrific accident, quote unquote. But like, you know, I don't know. This one just hit me way harder. It's very sad.
Maybe it's just like you said, you like this movie so much more than the other one.
I guess so. Yeah, that's probably it. There's the down and out line after he dies as well. It's very sad. The body gets discovered by the dad, who has been like called onto the scene because there's this fight involving multiple Spider-Men. Is what it says over the radio, I think. Spider people.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that Spider-Man has killed his brother. If he didn't have reason to hate Spider-Man before, he sure does now. Damn. Even though he's like supposed to be dead, or like someone masquerading as Spider-Man maybe has killed his brother. But bleak.
Yeah, and it all kind of like the scene ends right at the end of Us and Them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really works. Also, the last line in Us and Them is the line, "The old man died."
Yeah.
Damn.
Which, if you take old man to mean father and father to mean father figure, you making a sink stew with that.
That's a big old sink, baby.
Yeah. Baby.
Miles, like, obviously distraught about this whole thing. He gets visited by the other spider crew in his room, who say, like, this is where they talk about that, like, key motivator being people that died. Spider-Ham, though, honestly, delivers it the most eloquently. He says that, like, part of the hardest thing about the job is that you can't save everyone, which I think lands so much better than saying, like, for me, it was this person who died. Like, trying to make him feel okay that way. But, like, I think, weirdly, Spider-Ham is the only one that gets it right.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just got emotional intelligence and
who knew?
His dimension.
Yeah, that's it.
Pigs are supposed to be really intelligent.
There you go. That radioactive pig bit him, gave him super pig intelligence. It is very funny that it's a pig that bites him. That's a good bit.
Yeah. So, like, the flatmate comes home, the roommate, and they all hide from him, and then he sees them and faints. And that was a scene, I think, in the trailers, but it's still just a joy.
Still good.
And then, they have they confront him, saying they're going to go stop the collider without Miles.
Yeah, and Peter decides that Peter B. Parker decides that he will be the one to stay behind to, like, stop, because he feels that, like, he's already screwed up his own reality enough that it's like he's willing to die rather than go back, like, sacrifice himself and be like the hero or whatever. But it's kind of wild, this, like, whole, it's a really new take on Spider-Man, the whole, like, suicidal almost style. Like, he's gotten himself to this position of being, like, completely distraught, in a similar kind of vein to, like, a Batman type. Yeah, like, Batman's doing his thing because he's, like, sort of he's so messed up by his past that he's become this, like, figure of justice and heroism, you know? And he's not looking out for himself. The story of
Spider-Man's always been a lot more optimistic.
Yeah. That's sort of his appeal, I would say, as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of good that they didn't make Peter B. Parker's story as, like, an actual movie, because I feel like that would be terrible. It would be, like, really hard to watch.
It'd be like the gritty remake of Spider-Man.
It could potentially have happened as well. Like, what with all the, like, gritty, like, post, Dark Knight, you could say. it's like, let's reboot Spider-Man and do the Batman thing to it. Like, that could have well been a thing that happened. But no.
It almost definitely would have been the third Andrew Garfield one.
Oh my
would
God.
have been like that.
That would have been
because those were just getting dark and soulless.
Ugh. Yuck.
Yeah.
I remember going to see that first Andrew Garfield one and like it doing nothing new and just being so bored.
I watched that and felt nothing, and then I watched the sequel, and that was fun because it was kind of like just so missed every mark it tried to hit.
Oh my God. It is better than the Tobey Maguire version, I would say. It tells the story of Spider-Man better than that, but because it's the same story, like it doesn't really change anything or do anything different. It's just like it stays true to the comics probably, but like I don't know.
I still have a huge soft spot in my heart for the Tobey Maguire ones. I think they're great.
Oh,
like those were my first M-rated movies I got to watch. Like, yeah, I'm all for them. That's probably what kicked off my Spider-Man fanship.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're good. I'm not going to deny that, but yeah, I don't know. This is the best Spider-Man that has been.
Yeah. What can you say?
The ones with Tom Holland also pretty good. So, you know.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, we got oh man, where are we at? So he ties up little Miles with his sticky web, and oh my God, I'm losing it. And he says he won't know when he's ready to be Spider-Man, and that it's a leap of faith that he has to make.
Yes, which really hit me this watch. That line.
Yeah, it's
with
good.
A bit of Pink Floyd playing, with a bit of "I Am Any Color You Like" by the rock ensemble Pink Floyd.
That rock
ensemble really just touched me.
Known for their album Shark Side of the Moon. And yeah, I think we get brain damage as they all leave, starting up.
Yeah.
There's another really heartbreaking sequence now with the like dad on the opposite side of the door, thinking that Miles is just ignoring him. He's like trying to talk to him about his uncle dying, but Miles is like tied up and unable to speak on the other side. Bleak. This is awful.
Yeah.
Very sad sequence. He also like feels like he's losing Miles in the same way that he like lost touch with his brother, which is brutal. Like the arc that the dad goes through in this movie is pretty interesting. Like,
heck yeah.
I wish we had more scenes with him, honestly. He sort of just shows up later where it's not necessary. But I wish we had more, like, interstitial things with, like, about their relationship deteriorating, because I just think that's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it'll get addressed more in a sequel, but...
Maybe.
Yeah. I think it's just, like, Brian Terry Henry is just actually such a good actor.
Oh, for real. He crushes this role.
Yeah.
Man.
I can't wait to see him in more things.
Yeah, same. Atlanta's been a great one for him, eh?
Yeah. Oh, Atlanta's just so good.
Yeah, shout out to
the fact that it gave us Lakeith Stanfield and Brian Terry Henry.
Yeah, just having so much room to breathe in that show as well.
Yeah.
Fucking genius choice of making Donald Glover making himself the straight man as well, to like all the insane shit that happens. Oh God, what a great show. Yeah. Check that one out, listeners. Unrelated to Spider-Man almost completely. Anyway, this...
Well, not unrelated, because Donald Glover campaigning to be in the 2012 Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is what led to them creating Miles Morales.
Oh, really?
And so there's a shot in Community. Oh, gosh. Oh, get your pieces of paper and connect them to Post-it notes, listeners.
All right.
There's a shot in Community Season 2 where Donald Glover is dressed as Spider-Man.
Yes.
And that was to reference that campaign.
Yes.
But in old mate Prowler's apartment, you see the TV pause, and it's that shot on the TV.
Unreal. What, like full circle. We got there.
Yeah. Give me anything, and I'm going to link it to Spider-Man.
Shot of at the end of the movie where Spider-Man is looking and seeing like the matrix of the whole exploding particles and things, seeing all the universes at once. But that's me listening to you work your way back. Damn, impressive stuff. That's podcasting. Anyway, this has given that whole sequence that you explained, the Donald Glover connection has given Miles the motivation boost that he needs to be free.
Yeah.
And he bursts forth with his electric powers that he's now in control of.
Yeah.
We get like a really slick little montage sequence of him like making his suit, going back to old May, I nearly called her, Aunt May, her shack, and...
she's just listening to rap music as well.
Badass. What a boss. Sipping some tea.
Yeah.
That's my whole vibe.
I hope the universes where she becomes a Spider-Man come into play in the future ones.
I'd be into that.
Yeah. I think she's called like Spider-May.
Oh, alright.
I think. That might have been me making that up.
You only need to change one letter. That would make sense.
Yeah. Save a lot on like making new signage.
Yeah. There's a really slick little shot here with the mirror, like, not the mirror, he's looking at the suit inside the cabinet and him now measuring up to that, where previously he wasn't. There was a shot of this before and he was like not filling the shoes of Spider-Man. He was not measuring up, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And like him now like matching eye to eye with Spider-Man and able to wear the suit is the motif here. The eclipse starts up, and we see him being Spider-Man for real for the first time, basically.
Yes, and it works so well to Pink Floyd's Eclipse.
Oh my god, it does. Him, suspended in the air. The shot from the trailer with him, upside down, suspended in the air, falling towards the city. So good with Eclipse.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite eclipses.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It really works, at the end of this playthrough as well. He's gone through the journey of him, becoming Spider-Man and now filling the shoes for the first time. We're ready for the final confrontation and the final play of the album.
Oh, yeah. The final playthrough is just your Miles Spider-Man.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah.
Into it.
Oh, yeah.
So, we cut to casing Kingpin's, building. He's in is he in, the Empire State Building or something?
I think so. Some fancy New York building.
Yeah, he's having, a whack-ass memorial dinner for Spider-Man, which he doesn't believe in. MJ's there. And, underneath this is the big collider at the bottom. And, this is the weird sequence with Peter, getting catharsis and talking with MJ about bread. I hate this sequence, but, whatever.
Maybe I guess I'm the minority. Love and I love bread, so I'll put them together.
It's very frustrating for me because he doesn't use, he uses the bread as, a metaphor for the ways that he can, be better to her, and it's just so cheesy. I don't know. Cheesy-ass bread, Gareth. Yeah.
Yeah, alright. You got me
there. We'll move on. It's fine. It's good, he's figuring out... We need to get Peter B. Parker to the stage where he's able to go back to his own universe, and this is part of it, so I'm fine with it. We get Breathe as we're heading down for the final confrontation. Everyone is descending at the same time to the collider because we know we have to go there. And they turn it on as soon as the Spider crew arrives, dead on. And they're all fighting, battling all the villains and stuff in there. Green Goblin probably dead in the background. Poor guy.
Or just injured and they've buried it over him and he's just hey.
Oh, I'm trapped down here.
Guys.
Miles shows up using his invisibility power and he's fighting. He matches everyone. He joins in. He's figured it out. Yes, we get... There's a small room that gets raised into the path of the beam that gets, for Kingpin's family to arrive in, presumably. But this causes, interrupting the beam's, flow, it causes psychedelic cityscapes and, vehicles and other items, giant tapes and things to fly out of this, a nucleus of an atom kind of looking thing. It's
so cool.
It's rad as hell. This whole fight sequence is unparalleled. It's so sweet looking. They have a lot of fun with extra dimensional space and cool flying buildings, gravity being out of whack. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Really good.
And it's perfect for Spider-Man as well. They're like a beautiful... Like, that's why I love the Tobey Maguire one so much. You feel when he's swinging around and the camera follows him in those movies.
Yeah, man.
But you feel it so much more when he can swing around and he's not even swinging based on, like, our physics.
No.
It's like no other character would play in this universe as well as he is literally playing in it, jumping around and stuff.
Yeah. They're using, like, the full elasticity of the animated style as well. Like, him, like, being flung around like crazy. There's a bit where he gets, like, where Miles gets, like, sandwiched between two buildings and has to, like, fly through them, and he's just, like, stretched beyond imagining. Looks great.
Yeah. And there's, like, a Pink Floyd are bringing their A game, because there's, like, a cool kind of juddery sound as that part happens.
Yeah.
All to some On the Run,
We got On the Run over
great
this,
song for this.
which works.
Yeah.
It's really good. There's a good little sequence of him flying through the buildings is like he's going to put the goober in the machine just before the On the Run crash happens. Sadly, the anime robot also dies.
Yeah.
So, alternate universe, Penny Parker's dad dies. Yeah.
Well, is the dad the robot or the spider?
I think the soul of the robot is...
Oh, okay.
Or, like, the dad designed the robot and is part of its AI or something. Anyway, she's cut up about it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she would
it's hard to relate to, like, the bit part character's father that soul is in a robot, you know? That's so many layers of obfuscation of sadness. More so than
Unless
Uncle
it's something
Ben.
that's happened to you.
Yeah. Has this ever happened to you? Find the, like, smallest grief counseling network available.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah, clocks are all going off in time as it's time to send people home. Everyone's jumping into the little beam, getting sent back to their own realities, delivering the final send-off lines and sad goodbyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, except for Peter B. Parker, who's like still pretty intent on staying. And they have this like talk. Miles like switches it up on him and like talks him out. Does the same move on him, like tripping him up that he did in his own apartment, or in his own room. And then, he's like, how will I know if I'm ready to go back to my own dimension? He's like, you won't, it's a leap of faith, which is sweet. It's like bringing it all back home to him, which is so clever. And goes home. So
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Oh,
Nice little goodbye.
Yeah. I love that, like, even though, because these characters, like, especially Spider-Ham, they're like the chocolate in the trail mix. They're what gets you excited, but you know if the movie had too much of them, it would kind of lose its like heart. It wouldn't be as nutritious.
Spider-Ham gets close to being too much for me, but like it's
strong disagree.
He's like he has like if he had like a few more lines, I'd be like kind of tired of him. But he's like used sparingly enough that I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Because he's so jarring to the rest of the tone of the film.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You know, like, in the same way the like anime girl is, honestly, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. But I did love, like, because it's so jarring, him fighting the Scorpion was beautiful.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah.
Using the like anvil on him from like hammer. He's got literal hammer space.
Yeah.
Which is so clever. It's like a really specific animation reference that if you don't get, like, it's brilliant.
Yeah. So then it's just Kingpin and Miles.
Yeah, final standoff. Them like
fight.
facing each other down on the side of a building with like atoms and crazy particles flying around them. This whole fight scene is fucking magic. It looks so good. Also, this is where Miles' dad shows up inexplicably, being like, the building's exploding, you know?
Yeah.
But he's just here, I guess, to like further the stakes, but he didn't need to be here. But whatever.
No, it's cool he got to see it all, and he's like wishing Spider-Man will get up, showing he doesn't hate Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's sort of a switch up, right, in his opinion.
Yeah.
There's a clear like character change for him where he sees Spider-Man get beaten down and he's like, get up, Spider-Man, you know? Like, and that's cool. That's cool to see.
Yeah.
So I guess it's fine. That he's here. Kingpin, he does the same move that he used to kill Spider-Man OG. Yeah, with his like powerful fist bang.
But then speaking of using the same move, Miles goes with the, what is it called, sorry?
The shoulder touch.
The shoulder touch.
He goes, hey.
Gives him a hey, and then electrocutes him.
I love that hey is written on screen while this happens as well. It's so good. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really
it
good.
saves the bloody day.
Saves the day. Like, electrocutes the big panel, and that's enough to shut down this machine.
Yeah.
Massive explosion occurs. It's amazing that no one dies.
Yeah.
But yeah, manages to save the day. Calls his dad after this as well. Oh no, we briefly get the shot of Spider-Man seeing infinite realities that I really want to comment on.
Oh yeah, which looked very good to some Pink Floyd as well.
Really good into that. It's like full 2001 direct reference, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and it's just some Great Gig in the Sky, which is the perfect kind of song for that.
Yeah. Also fun artistic choice with this. The alternate realities look like the spider webs for stringing out, which is great. Great choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're getting the Great Gig keys playing over that, which I'm into as well. Yeah, he gives a little... The vocal starts up. We see that everybody's okay. He talks with his dad on the phone, like still dressed as Spider-Man, being like, I'm sorry, that everything's fine. I know about my uncle dying. And yeah, the dad like tries to reconnect really awkwardly. And then as Spider-Man, he goes down and like hugs his dad, which is a really sweet moment. I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And then he's using this like fake deep voice to talk to him, being like, I'm looking forward to working with you, officer. It's very funny. And then there's another like direct reference to Spider-Man lore when he's hung up Kingpin with spiderwebs, and it's got a little note on him that says, "From your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." Good stuff.
Yeah.
The classic line. And then
we get one last let's do this one last time.
Yep.
Where we get to kind of catch up on Spider-Man, how he's living his life.
Yep.
But it's only been 2 days.
Yeah, and the same style as the origin stories that we've had. Very clever. We get the final like thesis lesson of the film is that like anyone can be Spider-Man. That anyone has this like hero within them that it's a great lesson, honestly. It's really cool.
It cancels out the Nickelback song from the first Spider-Man where he's waiting for a hero to save him.
Oh, thank God.
He didn't realize he could be the hero.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to everyone who I reminded that song existed.
Yeah, never mind. Man, was that like released alongside that soundtrack, that song?
Yeah, and then Spider-Man 2 obviously had Dashboard Confessionals Vindicated, which...
Wow.
A hit.
Another banger.
And then... then it was a long break between Spider-Man hit singles until this movie when Sunflower came out,
with old mate...
which is a great song.
Post Malone, who offers a cameo as well. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Sweet, that's it. That's week. Well, it's not it, because this is a Marvel film, so we have to stick around. We're getting...
Yes, I was a fool and I didn't stay for this end.
Oh, buddy,
this end
I got
credits.
you. It's fine.
I did this time. I was so excited to watch it.
Yeah. So this is another one that AJ would have yelled at you about.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
The year is 2099.
Yes, we're getting Spider-Man from the 2099 comics here, who has the ability to travel back in time. Or like to other dimensions. He's been given like a little watch because he's from the future. Why not?
He can do it autonomously.
Yeah, so without a portal, effectively.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got to go back to the beginning. And he teleports back to 1967, the first Spider-Man comic ever. And or like the Spider-Man show? I don't know. I think it's the comic.
The like 60s cartoon.
Yeah, and he's here.
That all the memes are from.
Yeah, it's like, and they recreate the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme here, like poke fun at that, which is great. It's really, really funny as like a post-credit scene. Worth sticking around for.
Yeah, and J. Jonah Jameson or J.K. Simmons' character's in it as well.
Really? Oh man, I didn't put that together. That's great.
He's the guy with the mustache. And the best part is Oscar Isaac and Greta Lee, his AI, credited as Interesting Person 1 and Interesting Person 2.
Yeah. That's great.
Which,
amazing. There's no real syncs with this other than the line is like, the finishing line of the movie for us is good manners don't cost nothing, eh? So, and that's like kind of tying in with them pointing each other and calling each other how rude they are, but like, I don't know. Is that a sync? Probably.
I like it. It's a sync.
Okay.
And speaking of, what did we think?
How did it sync?
How did it sync?
Good. I don't know. It was... there were syncs in this one. So, that's a good sign. Good film.
It felt like the most syncs in a while.
Yeah, I would agree. We're not in the like 1-2 range, which it feels like we've been in for a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm willing to go super generous with this just because I had such a good time. But
now don't let your heart cloud your science.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, I could give this an 8 or 7 point.
What? Yeah.
5.
Who's getting emotionally clouded now, Gareth? I don't know.
What? Is that high to you? We've given like Mouse Hunt an 8.
I feel like 8's too high now.
Okay.
I don't think we've quite
I like
there.
7.4, one less than Labyrinth.
Sure. Okay, 7.4.
Yeah.
Lock it in. There we go. Spider-Man. Complete.
7-4.
7-4. 724. Oh my god. Okay. Well, it's my turn to choose next week, is it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, do you want to do a fun one? Or do you want to do a spooky one?
Oh, gosh. Well, I feel like we had a lot of fun. And we're, of course, in the sad universe.
Yeah.
The real universe. So I think we have to... we've already had our fun this week, so let's go spooky.
All right, sweet. All right, well, I have no preamble, but my spooky one that I have prepared is Mulholland Drive, Gareth.
Oh, gosh.
So we're doing that this week.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to just tell the story of the time we first saw that.
Yep, that's kind of why I chose it. We got David Lynch's masterpiece, Mulholland Drive.
Yeah. We're going to be the two people who finally figure that movie out, thanks to Pink Floyd.
I've also just seen that this movie is 2 hours, 27 minutes long. So, holy moly. All right.
We can do it.
We can. We did Avatar, so I think anything's within our range now.
Yeah. James, there's just one last piece of business we have to cover.
Okay.
I've just turned on the video in our chat.
Oh.
This entire time doing this audio podcast, I've been wearing my Spider-Man outfit.
You have? Oh my god. Now that's a twist I never saw coming. That's amazing. Take a wee screen grab of that.
I'm trying. I can't remember how to do it.
Oh my god. I've grabbed you. Oh, that's amazing. You're just looking very sternly at me now.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
That's the best.
I'll leave it on just to say goodbye to you.
All right. I can't turn my webcam on because, of course, it's broken.
Oh, yes. That sounds like that's syncs with your computer. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Until then, everybody, I've been Gareth Blacklaw.
I've been just the voice of James Barron.
And we'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Spider-Man, 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 I don't know the song. Goodbye.